Welcome back. We've gotten everything we need out of the infirmary, so now let's backtrack a bit.
Attention. Due to the threat of external contamination, a security lockdown is in order. Please meet at your closest administration office for further instructions.
Well, we aren't exactly under normal circumstances, so we're not going to do that. In fact, the security lockdown is basically going to be a series of puzzles that we need to get past in order to get a little further down in the ship. And quick note about this place, if you run fast enough, you can actually get John to walk over the top of the graphics for the doors.
Is anyone there?
Sorry to cut you off, John, but we got shit to do. Our ultimate goal for this area is to... You see that freight elevator at the bottom? We want to get in that so we can go down a couple of levels. But we've got some things we got to do here before we can open it up.
Security lockdown? Must be why there's nobody here. Maybe they were evacuated.
Oh, John, ever the optimist, I see. Well, first things first, there's only one door we can go through right now, so this is still pretty simple as far as puzzle solving goes. Now, in this next area, we have a few different things that we've got to take care of.
Empty. Fuck, Where the hell is everyone?
Doctor, where are you? Something you don't know. My dear little girl, you don't know how happy we are to have you with us.
Sorry about that. I kind of feel bad for talking over the radio, because there are some kind of cool stations and lines of dialogue that come up from it now and then, but we're going to use the admin's computer to go through a couple of logs and eventually get into security. Sorry, I kind of feel bad for talking over some of the ambience that's going on in this game. By the way, you cannot turn that radio off. The hand appears over it so it looks like you can interact with it, but you don't actually turn it off. I'm going through this to show you a couple of things. Number one, there's a hint for the neural drill puzzle again. And there's a hint for another puzzle that's going to come up later involving some storage tanks. But we're still a little bit away from that. And that does play a big role later because that's ultimately how we're going to override the security system and be able to use the freight elevator. But for now, we can access security from here and use this terminal to unlock a door.
Notice. Maintenance doors unlocked. Lock will be engaged in 3 hours.
And that's how you unlock the maintenance door, which is that other door that we saw outside in front of the forklift. You can't open Product Storage Bay 2 because the door is damaged, and you can't unlock the freight elevator because it's still on security lockdown. Now we're going to start picking up a couple of items here. In particular, we're going to break the emergency glass box. And, well, there was something in here. Damn budget cuts. But we can actually get something from this glass box. In particular, there's a really large glass shard from when we broke the glass, so we're going to take that.
Damn it. Got myself. This is short.
Now this is something you don't have to do, but you have the option to sit in some of these rows of seats, and when you do that, John will start talking to himself, and there's a few different things he'll say.
Okay, steady yourself. There has to be someone here. Someone who can help. Someone.
Now you can do this again, but you can't sit immediately on the seat you were just on, so you have to move over and sit in the other row of seats. I don't know why, but that's how it is.
Breathe. If you're alive, and so are they.
And you can try sitting again, but he won't do it. So instead, let's move on to the bathrooms. because that's where nothing but good things happen. I'm just speaking in general, not for this game in particular. Now there are a bunch of metal sinks along this wall here. You can turn on all of them, it doesn't really do anything, but if you notice the descriptions, this is something that kind of caught my interest about this game. All of these sinks have different descriptions. It doesn't just copy-paste the same description for all of them. And when you look over the toilets, there's one here that says it's got a towel plugged in it. Well, I guess we better take it.
This is disgusting. Good to know the important stuff keeps on working.
Priorities, right, John? Okay, that's all the items that we're going to need from this area, at least. So, since we unlocked the door, let's go ahead and move into the maintenance bay. And there is a reason I'm walking. If you do run for too long, he will eventually get exhausted and you have to walk.
Warning. Air filtration system offline. Toxicity increasing to dangerous level.
The smell. It's sweet.
And welcome to the first puzzle of consequence. And when I say puzzle of consequence, I mean a puzzle where if you don't do it right, you die. Now there's a PDA here left by one of the maintenance crew, and this again goes over the incident where if a leak is caused in one of the tanks that's along that wall, it'll cause the security system to reset, which is what we want to happen, so we can use the freight elevator. He also mentions that when a leak happened last time, all the workers got trapped in the area because of the security lockdown, and when they finally got the area open, there was nothing left of them but their teeth. Well, some of their teeth. So we want to be very careful about this. He also mentions a pressure release valve that we have to hit beforehand, and we have to try and turn it 3 times before it'll finally work.
It's stuck. Come on, old man. There you go.
Okay, and now that the air is no longer at toxic levels, let's go back into the room. And this is going to be our first application of the neurodrill. We're going to cause the security system to reset by deliberately drilling a hole into one of these fluid tanks and creating a leak. Just a little note here, the PDA that we found, the name on it is the same name that shows up on those little display screens. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and drill a hole into one of these tanks.
Attention. System rebooted. Air scrubbers activated.
Finally, some good news.
And that's how it's done. Let's go ahead and get the hell out of this room. I would rather not stay in the room with the highly corrosive substances. And once we get out to this area again, we're going to see the freight elevator is now open. So let's go ahead and walk over toward the freight elevator. And actually, I'm going to use this opportunity to save. As you can see, you get a ton of save slots in this game. You know, in case you miss something and you want to make sure you can go back. But that's where I'm going to end this video for now. Except, what would have happened if I didn't do the pressure release valve before drilling the hole in the tank? And that is how you can get your first achievement in the game, Dissolved. Many of the achievements in this game are specifically themed around all the different ways that you can kill John. And when you do die, you go back to sort of an automatic checkpoint around when you died. But next time, we're going to explore the lower levels of the ship.